Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. But Mark, I want to kind of move this into a question I was thinking about today after I saw Colin Cowherd ask this question. It's been all over my Facebook with my Facebook friends. I'm just going to throw it out to you. Because of the Patriots in this win, 5 Super Bowls since, 2000? So 17 years, 5 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Is this right here the greatest? I'm going to change it a little bit and go more towards Cowherd's side. Is this the greatest pro sports dynasty of all time?
Yeah, I think that's a good question because I think college sports are a completely different animal and we don't need to deal with it.
He said, and I agree with him, college sports are built for dynasties. With how recruiting works, you're supposed to build dynasties.
Of course.
Pro sports is everything's built against you to build a dynasty.
Yeah, and I think the other caveat that we need to make, because some football or soccer fans going to say, but what about Manchester United? Mm-hmm. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
That's our asterisk right now. Manchester United doesn't exist. I understand they've won like 15 in the last 20 years or something like that. We don't watch soccer. So
sorry.
I watch the World Cup. I like the World Cup.
I do. I like the World Cup, but I won't watch Premier League or anything.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. And then the other caveat is that we need to make the other asterisk. We're kind of talking about modern teams. We're not going to go back to the 1930s New York Yankees.
The big one I kind of want to throw the asterisk to because
or the 1950s New York Yankees.
I wish I would have been around for it. Was the Danny Ainge, Bill Russell Celtics. I never watched them, so obviously my frame of reference won't be able to put them as the greatest pro dynasty of all time.
Yeah, is it I definitely think it's, without a doubt, best football NFL dynasty.
So you best football. See how you said that? Best football.
Yeah, they are, without a doubt, with that. And when it comes to other sports, obviously the Michael Jordan era Bulls are way up there.
It's got to be. To me, that is the greatest. And that's a little bit of homerism, but to me, that's the greatest. And the big thing that's different, too, is the NFL is so different than the NBA. In the NBA, you kind of need okay, we've got two really good players. Cool, let's run the table. The NFL, you need a quarterback and then some pieces behind him, around him.
Now, I think that when you're talking about these dynasties, and I already said we're not talking about the New York Yankees in the 30s or in the 50s, but what we are going to talk about, the New York Yankees in the 90s, moving into the 2000s. To me, that's the Joe Torre's New York Yankees is the best modern dynasty. That is the evil empire right there that people jokingly or reference when talking about the Patriots. When your dynasty is being referenced to an even better dynasty, that's the answer to your question.
They won
there.
3 in a row from, in case you're like, how many did they win from? Well, not in a row. 3 and 4 years, 96, 98, 99.
And then 2000.
Then 2000 and 2009, if you want to go that far.
If you want to go Joe Girardi.
Well, it's almost within the same amount of years as the Patriots have had.
Yeah.
From, if we go 96 to 2009, that's 13 years. That's what, 5? The same amount as the Patriots in less years. But the big thing, and I want to throw this out, and this is devil's advocate to baseball, baseball doesn't have a salary cap. So the reason why the Yankees were winning this many World Series is let's just throw all the money at it.
Sure. But at the same time, you can play games in football. Tom Brady's got a small salary.
True.
You can play games.
That's what you need, though. You need a guy. You need to me, the Patriots it's one of those weird, unique systems where they got a quarterback who's not only the greatest of all time, but he understands here. I've earned my money. Let me take a little less so that we can bring pieces in so I can win.
And also, Giselle makes more money than he would ever make.
Yeah.
His wife makes a lot more money, so he doesn't
have to worry about that.
Yeah, he doesn't need it in any way, shape, or form. And there's the other part of Bill whether you want to credit this to Bill Belichick's ability to get more out of players or see things that other players didn't see, or you want to just say Tom Brady makes people better. They also get a bunch of people who are the cast-offs of other teams, scrubs somewhere else, where the difference from the Yankees in the 90s was that the Yankees were the place where everybody wanted to go play. And I think that the Patriots, not now, but they had already become that, where it was when a young kid is thinking about where they want to play football, they're not thinking about Dallas anymore. They're thinking about the Patriots.
With the Patriots, I can't freaking remember what he said before him, but they showed an interview was with Jimmie Johnson and Belichick before the game, and he said there were 3 things he looks for in players, and the one that I can remember is just it kind of has to go with the does he love, like, are you going to work hard, you love the game, and something else, and it was like those 3 things. I'm like, yeah, that's the Patriot way. And they've built that. I say it so many times on podcasts. They've built a culture. Bill Belichick has built a culture and it helps when you have a guy like Tom Brady, who's A, that good, and B, is that guy to kind of reinforce that culture. Look at Gronk. Gronk's a guy where he should be the guy that fights that culture. But does he? No, he never fights it. Mm-hmm. He's actually, it's like the culture can reel him in from party mode.
Yeah. I just think that such an interesting thing here is that these are the teams that are pretty much at the top of their respective, and even throwing the Bulls in there during that time period, at the top of their leagues. You know, back in the 90s, no one was denying that the Bulls were who you think of when you think of the NBA.
Well, it was funny, and I think I mentioned this off microphone to Dave and them yesterday was, I can't say his last name right, but Gary Vee, the guy who's all over Facebook, like motivational speaker stuff, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and the interesting thing was Michael Jordan got brought up, and he goes, oh, I hate him. I hate Michael Jordan. And at first I'm like, oh, okay, probably hates him as a businessman, had a bad thing. No, he hates him because he grew up a Knicks fan, and Michael Jordan always stood in the way of the New York Knicks. And I'm like, okay, I can respect that.
It's like if you're a Jets fan right now.
You hate Tom Brady. If you're a Dolphin fan, you hate Tom Brady.
And I just think that these are, I mean, this is a little bit of a step outside of Dynasty.
That's why we hate Aaron Rodgers, right?
That's right. That is why we hate Aaron Rodgers.
But you can't hate Brett Favre. You just can't do it.
I do. I hate Brett Favre.
Just can't do it.
I have no problem doing it. But I think that's the thing that I look at outside of just Dynasty is that the New England Patriots have such a great era of dominance. The only, decade that the New York Yankees haven't won a Super Bowl in was the 80s. Mm-hmm. They've won a World Series in every decade. It's 27 World Series championships for this team. They have just, like I said, this is going a little bit outside of Dynasty, but they are just pure success and pure win. They win. That's what they do.
It's like they've been to the conference title game 6 years in a row. Mm-hmm. They've, only not made the playoffs once, and that's when Tom Brady was injured that year. That was the Matt Castle year, and they even went 10-6 that year. To me, if I had to give a hard answer, because I haven't, I'm going to go with the Bulls. And I know everyone out there, especially if you watch the Fast Break, you're like, well, duh, Ricky's going to go with the Bulls because of his homerism, but
they didn't lose.
I just look at that and
the Patriots lost.
That's something you brought up when we were off mic. Mm-hmm. The Patriots have lost, and
in this stretch,
you look at that, and I know that it was the same team in the Giants, but Michael Jordan and those Bulls teams never lost. And B, the thing I think of, and this is kind of my fandom coming into it, is, and you guys can't deny it because you guys know it's true. I know the dream and that those Rockets team were good. But let's be honest. If Michael Jordan never went to play baseball, it would have been 8 straight championships for Michael Jordan. Houston Rockets would have just been the Utah Jazz, or we would be saying the Utah Jazz are the Houston Rockets 2.0.
They probably would have just said, you know what? Basketball's done. Everybody pack it up. We're done. We're done. Jordan ruined it. Mm-hmm. He ruined the fun. We're going to take our ball and go home.
Could you imagine if the Bulls, that would have been awesome. If they could have won 8 straight championships.
Yeah.
It eats me. It keeps me up some nights.
I do wish that, talking of homerism and here in Chicago, I do wish that our Blackhawks could have done it, but I don't think they're on that level.
Well, here's something that I want to twist it a little bit because, like I said, I was listening to Cowherd. He said, "What's the greatest pro sports dynasty?" on my ride home from lunch, my like 2-minute ride home that I have from work, I was listening to a little bit of Cap and Company here in Chicago, and Kaplan actually did a different spin on it. He talked Brady Belichick. What's the greatest sports duo in sports history? And the guys he brought up, you could throw in Belichick and Brady, Jordan and Phil Jackson, Russell, Danny Ainge. You've got someone throughout Taves, Kane, and Quinville. That's where you can throw in the Blackhawks.
You could put Jackson also, of course, with Kobe. I do want to give
because he did win 5 with Kobe.
Let's not, since I did mention hockey, we do need to, of course, give a shout out to the Canadians. They're probably the ones we should have mentioned. But anyways,
I think it's the Bill Burr stand up where he's just like, yeah, the Canadians, they don't, or it's one of the comedians. I don't think it's Bill Burr. I think it's someone that's actually from Canada. He goes, yeah, the Canadians, yeah, they won all those Stanley Cups, but most of them was when there were 6 teams, and most of them were from the U.S., and Toronto sucked.
Toronto does
so, of
suck.
course, you're going to win. You're the Canadian team. You're the good Canadian team.
You're supposed to win.
That's what I think of when you brought up the Canadians.
Yeah, and I think that to answer the question about the best duo, if I'm going with best duo,
it's Tom Brady and Belichick.
Yeah, it is. I'm as much as I love Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson because of Chicago, I can't ignore the Belichick Brady perfect storm, because that really was a perfect storm. The thing about Phil Jackson is Phil Jackson did it with Jordan and he did it with Kobe. That for me, weirdly enough, takes away a little bit
from Jordan.
From Jordan, because it was, well, Phil was able to do it with someone else. Belichick was not that great until Brady came in, and it was that perfect storm, that perfect marriage there that has been so successful.
And that's the big question everyone wants to know. Can Belichick do it without Brady? Could the same thing happen with Belichick without Brady? I think he could.
I think he could win a Super Bowl, but I don't think he can keep this dynasty going.
I'm talking about just a Super Bowl. I think he could with the right quarterback. I think he could with a Jimmy G. I do.
I know the world wants to buy in on Jimmy G, but let's wait.
He could get one with Jimmy G.
The man's played 2 games.
I'm not saying that he'd win like 5 Super Bowls. I'm not saying the next Tom Brady, but I mean, with duo, it's hard to me, I would love to do Phil and Michael, but that Bulls team also had complementary pieces. This Patriot team, well, I mean, I was going to say, with this Patriot team, you pull away Tom Brady, what are they? Let's be honest. You pull away Michael Jordan from those Bulls teams. Actually, interesting. That's another point. The Bulls without Michael Jordan still made the playoffs. The Patriots without Tom Brady didn't.
Yeah.
So I love my Bulls, but I gotta throw that in there. I gotta give respect where respect is due. But kind of just to, before we move on to the one topic that you wanted to hit with the Super Bowl, what's your pro dynasty? Your best all-time pro dynasty, just to put it right out there. New York Yankees from the 90s, right?
From the 90s. I mean, because I don't want to go back. If I go back into the 30s or the 50s, I mean, that's just not fair.
Hey, I'm going to say the Bulls from the 90s. I mean, it's a little homerism, but hey, that's what you're going to get from me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the Onside Kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on, click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.